How's it going, everyone? My name is Michael SK, and welcome back to Fate Stay Night Remastered. We are currently on a rescue effort with Kotomine. So Shirou and Kotomine working together. I know, it's wild. I'm still in disbelief. They're working together to rescue Emiya specifically. Right now, even so Shirou wants to save Sakura, there kind of is no real saving her right now. And she's also aware that yeah, there's some intruders here. So Evil Saber and Evil Berserker have been dispatched to go and kill them, which is oh so fun, absolutely wonderful. Zoken and Assassin are also here. Assassin has went out, I think, as well to go and take care of them. I'm pretty sure that's also a part of the plan. We get through the forest. We're in a circular clearing in the vast sea of trees. The castle I saw through Emiya's eyes towers over the forest just as I remember. There's no sign of anyone around. It's strange that there's no guards on the castle walls, to say nothing of the castle, but I can't turn back now just because this might be a trap.
Kotomine, あの木から2階に上がれないか?
Even if they know that we're here, it would be suicide to go through the front door. I need to do whatever I can to get inside, even if it might not work.
そうだな。侵入するのなら水路を使うところだが、そんな悠長な真似が通じる相手ではなかろう。城に入った時点で侵入は悟られる。直接イリアスフィールの監禁場所に乗り込み、有無を言わせぬまま脱出したいのだが、さて。
The priest thinks aloud as he gazes up at the castle. He narrows his eyes, seeming to peer through the walls, and examines each window carefully.
驚いたな。本気で侮られているようだぞ、エミヤ。
Oh, underestimated. Kotomine smirks. I doubt my ears. This might be the first time I've ever heard him sound so delighted.
なんだよ、Kotomine。なんか見つけたのか?
見つけたとも。時に。一つ尋ねるが、登山の経験はあるかね、エミヤシロ。
まさか、あんた。
無論、フリークライミングだ。垂直だがオーバーハングはなく、凹凸は十分にある。この壁なら足場は確保できる。道具はなくとも登るのはたやすい。
Kotomine places his hand on the castle wall without waiting for my opinion. And then he just starts climbing it, sticking to the surface like a spider. He isn't going very fast, but his ascent is sure and steady.
何をしている? ポイントの確保ができないのなら、見て真似ろ。4階程度の壁登りができぬほど、やわではないだろう。ああ、それと、黒剣は置いていけ。帰りに拾っていけばいい。
Okay, so in the interlude that we saw, I'm sure that they were detected after we have gotten Emiya. That's what I interpreted, so I think that's what we'll have going on here. With that, the priest keeps climbing.
本気で言ってんだな、あの野郎。
Yes, he is, as ridiculous as some of his tactics are. I dropped the sword that Kotomine lent me and approached the wall. He must have picked an easier section of the wall to climb. The surface is uneven, and I find a place to grab onto. Free climbing is about more than just muscle strength. You need to judge whether your next handhold is safe or not, whether a depression is deep enough to support your weight, whether you can use it to make it to the next step. And when climbing a nearly vertical wall, you're basically making it up as you go along. You could be a meter from your destination, but if you can't find your next handhold, you'll have to go all the way back down to the ground and try a new route. Oh, don't worry guys, I've played Peak. Finding your way to the goal, only experienced climbers have the skill to constantly scan 2 to 3 steps ahead while scaling a wall. And I'm definitely not experienced, so all I can do is try to imitate Kotomine. One slight misstep or failure to judge my strength could send me careening to the ground.
信じられねえ。普通、素人にやらせるか、こんなの。
I grumble while I climb. It's a crazy plan, but not totally reckless. Normally, you'd only climb walls like these when you're more than halfway to a mountain summit. And climbers need to worry about more than just climbing. Just as the deep ocean is an inaccessible abyss to humans, high altitudes are also sacred ground that we can't enter. At 6,000 meters above sea level, oxygen becomes critically thin, and untrained climbers can't last more than a few hours. They'll suffer from nausea and dizziness, which will progress to cerebral edema before culminating in death. A mountain peak is an airless hell that becomes harsher the higher you go. Plus the extreme cold, even the slightest scratch on frostbitten skin will lead to necrosis. Climbing in such extreme conditions means you have to worry about your bodily functions steadily declining as you ascend. Compared to the harrowing ordeal that real climbers face, scaling a castle wall doesn't sound impossible at all. It's still hard. All I can use are the very tips of my fingers. I cautiously scout out the thinnest of lips or crevices I can use to support my entire body weight. He's asking me to keep up with him on a climb only an expert could do.
待て。移動した。
God damn it.
上かと思えば下か。エミヤ、3階の窓まで下がって中に入れ。
この無茶言うなよな、お前。
Do I look like a lizard to you?
ことみね、窓あるぞ、窓。
Break in.
こんなのどうやって入れってんだよ。
構わん。ぶち破れ。
この衛星神父、こんなんなら最初からな。
It would have been easier to climb a tree to get inside, you moron. Hello. I break into the castle. I shatter a window and dive through it, all in the same motion. Yeah, that'll definitely sound some alarms here. I hang from a wall with both hands and swing my body like a pendulum to bust through the window with my legs. I roll on the floor and onto an extravagant carpet. By the time I swung my legs down, most of my body was already falling. If I'd been even a tiny bit late kicking the window, I might have kicked off the stone wall instead and fallen 3 stories on my back.
3階の高さで頭から落ちれば死ぬぞ、普通。
Breaking the glass with my legs and rolling into the shards was dangerous, but I chalk it up as an acceptable risk.
Shirou.
Hello, Ilya. For an instant, all worldly trifles vanish from my mind.
イリア。
I even forget that I'm deep in enemy territory. I recall the events from my backyard. Ilya said farewell to me with such a forced smile.
呆れた。なんで来たの、シロ。もうあなたの出番なんてないのに。まだ無駄な努力をするつもり？
Her voice is stony. She's making the same cold expression she did when we first met. I'm used to it. I should be used to seeing her like this, but...
まだわからないの？さくらのことは私に任せればいいの。これは私の役割なんだから。シロはおとなしく家に帰って。
バカ。後始末が役割なんて言うな。
I lose my patience and slap Ilya's cheek. Oh my gosh.
シロの無礼者。レディの方を叩くなんて紳士じゃないわ。いくらシロでも私にこんなことするなんて許さないんだから。
許さないのはこっちだ、バカイリア。男だったらげんこつで殴ってるぞ、この不良娘。
My blank mind suddenly flares with irritation, even though I'm happy to see Ilya.
何よ、私怒られるようなことしてないじゃない。私は自分の役割を果たすためにさくらについていっただけよ。それが一番いい方法なんだから、シロに文句を言う資格なんか。
うるさい、そんなものを知ったことか。いいか、イリアの役割なんて俺は知らない。俺はただ勝手に出て行った不良娘を連れ戻しに来ただけだ。
Yeah, we really don't know too many details other than, like, everybody's supposed label and, like, the supposed, like, duty that they're supposed to do here. But the specifics are beyond us.
イリアがどんな
And
に
even
強が
more
って
so on
どんな
Shirou.
に平気なふりをしていても騙されないからな。イリアが少しでも嫌がっている限り絶対に連れて帰ってやる。
強がってるって何よ。私は嫌だなんて思ってないわ。この体は聖杯として作られた。あいつらのために鍵になるのは尺だけど、それで聖杯の力を使えるようになればさくらだって。
それが強がってるって言うんだ、バカ。いいか、聖杯なんてどうでもいい。イリアはイリアだ。 イリアがイリアのままでいたいならそんなことはほっぽっといていいんだ。自分以外の何かのために自分を犠牲になんてするな。
I look away. Ilya bites her lip for a second.
それはシロだって。
She whispers something I didn't quite hear.
いいわ。仮に私が嫌がってるとしても、それがどうだっていうの。私たちじゃさくらには勝てないし、逃げられない。私をこの城から連れ出すことは不可能よ。だから条件も好きにさせている。シロだけならまだ見逃してもらえるけど、私と一緒じゃ絶対に森からは出られないわ。
Her scarlet eyes urge me to leave. What? There's only one choice to make here. There's only one choice that I would actually choose to make here. I don't know why we're getting this option. I mean, at the end of the day, it's all we have to do.
それでも連れて帰る。俺は一人で帰る気はないからな。
There's nothing to consider. Right now, this is the only choice that exists. Ilya doesn't say anything. She gazes at me with an absent expression. I take her defenseless hand.
行くぞイリア。見つかる前に家に帰ろう。
I pull her close and start walking. She's small and terribly light.
呆れた。シロには何を言っても無駄ね。
Yes, ma'am. Ilya doesn't resist, tottering along with me.
本当にこんなのうまくいくはずないのに。
Yes, ma'am. She happily clasps my hand in return.
何を悠長にやっている。
Yeah, honestly, this is not the time for this. And then, Kotomine jumps through the broken window, his coat fluttering.
コトミネ。
Ilya lets go of my hand and squares off against Kotomine.
待ったイリア。そいつは味方だ。今回だけ協力することになった。
嘘。シロったらこんなやつと手を組んだの？ダメよシロ。こいつは。
無駄話は後だ。追いつかれる前に外に出るぞ。
Yeah, I mean, at the end of the day, he's gonna try and use Ilya for the same shit that Sakura and Zoken are trying to use her for. Kotomine moves in a flash. Before I can react, he scoops up Ilya in his arms and dives out the window.
イリア。
I panic and run to the window. Oh, time to make our escape. Kotomine's just landed on the ground. As soon as he touches down, Ilya wildly waves her arms and slaps him across the face. It's a pleasant sound that I can hear from up here.
感心してる場合じゃない。要するに飛び降りろってことかよ、あいつ。
I mean, yeah, he's only got one goal here, and that's to get Ilya. Whether or not we actually make it out alive with him or not, like, we gotta get going if we want to actually get out of here. Kotomine is not gonna wait up for us. There's no time to doubt myself. If I can pull off the landing, I'll survive somehow. I charge my legs with as much magical energy as I can manage. I can't magically strengthen my own body, but it should lessen the impact. Yeah, that worked. Nope, bad idea. I jump from over 20 meters high and drop into a roll when I land. 3 stories doesn't sound like much until you consider how tall this castle is. It would have easily been 8 stories in a Japanese apartment building.
いた。脳天飛び出すかと思ったさ。今の。
Damn it, my legs are too numb to stand up. Luckily, I landed on grass. If this had been asphalt, my bones would have broken out of my legs, and then I wouldn't be able to get out of here.
びっくり。シロ、丈夫だね。
It's plot armor.
そうだな。あの高さから何の魔術講師もなしに落下とは恐れ入る。やけか？
Both of them are staring at me. Ilya aside, Kotomine's words nearly make me forget about my numb legs.
叫んな。お前が飛び降りたからああするしかなかったんだよ。俺だってこんなのは二度とごめんだ。普通足折れてるし、飛び降りた瞬間なんてめまいで失神しかけたんだからな。
だが5体満足ではないか。文句を言われる筋合いはないが。 しかし確かに驚きだ。
What do you want him
よ
to
くあの
do?
高さから飛び降りようなどと思えたな。
Slowly climb his ass back down?
いかに魔術師とはいえ、魔術講師なしで飛び降りようとは思う前に。
I mean, they left me behind. I couldn't let Kotomine show me up after he jumped out there with Ilya.
シロのせいじゃないわ。シロは体だけじゃなくて心までアーチャーの影響を受けているのよ。
I mean, at the end of the day, we're one of the same.
だから体だって丈夫になってるし、あの高さなら降りられるってアーチャーと同じように思っちゃったのよ。
イリア、今のどういう。
なるほど。それは頼もしい。戦闘面でその強気を
Oh
発
yeah, I
揮
forgot
して
about
くれ。
that.
そら、お前の剣だ。
He tosses me the weapon I left behind when I started climbing.
走れるな。ここからは命がけだぞ。
Yep, because now they're gonna know. Kotomine says that we don't have time to stand around talking, and makes for the castle gate. And then, as if issuing a challenge. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. A different sound shakes the wintry castle.
やっぱりまだこの世に留めてたのね。
It's unmistakably the roar of a predator. It signals that a beast is on the hunt. It is a death sentence handed down to the lost prisoners by the kind and merciless lord of the castle.
バサカか。
My mind switches over to battle mode. Berserker, he said. The name invokes the image of a threat that once, well, that still threatens me. It squeezes the calm out of every last cell of my body.
ことみね。
引くぞ。戦ってどうにかなる相手ではない。追いつかれれば殺されるだけだ。
Kotomine runs ahead to the gate.
振り返るな、イリア。諦めろ。バサカは以前とは違う。
I take Ilya's hand and start running. I can't afford to save my stamina anymore. If that mad warrior is the one pursuing us, then the only way to survive is to run as fast as we can for the 3 hours it takes to reach the edge of the forest. My breath catches in my throat. We're being overtaken by a darkness I can't ignore no matter where I look. We run through the forest. I can't see anyone behind us yet. All I hear is the wind gusting by. Our pursuer is a titanic beast, not a hound. While we have to dodge between the trunks and branches, it closes in on us while tearing apart everything in its path. You'd think that we were being chased by a giant drilling rig, boring its way through the forest. The jet black wall slowly accelerates, threatening to close in around us.
ダメ、そんなに早く走れない。
Yeah, I thought that, I was fairly certain that Kotomine was going to hold on to Ilya here, but I guess not. I slow my pace to match Ilya's. This is bad. The hostile wall is about as fast as me. If I have to run while carrying Ilya, it'll definitely catch up to us within a minute.
やっぱりダメ。私は残るからシロ一人で逃げて。
まだ追いつかれたわけじゃない。背中に乗れ。イリア一人ならどうってことない。
バカ、どうってことある。そんなことしたらすぐに追いつかれるってわかるもん。
What should I do? Should I keep running with Ilya, or should I fight that monster? I couldn't even defend myself against Assassin. Could I possibly go toe-to-toe with that monster, the strongest servant, with nothing more than a borrowed thin sword? Yeah, no. I can't. Stop. Give me a break. There's absolutely nothing I can do to beat that monster. If I stop him dead, I'll be killed for sure. If I face the monster, it'll chop my feeble body in half, and it will stomp my still conscious torso to smithereens like an industrial grinder.
その必要はない。イリアスフィールは私が運ぶ。
Ilya and I turn around. We don't have time to stay surprised. Kotomine comes all the way back to us and picks up Ilya in his arms without further ado. Interesting sight. Very interesting sight. He's fast. Kotomine must be in great shape. With this height, he should be able to easily run while carrying Ilya. But we're in the middle of a forest. With both arms occupied by his charge, he navigates the uneven terrain and thick trees without slowing down at all.
Kotomine!
I run after him as fast as I can. I keep up with him. Unshackled, I run next to Kotomine, who's carrying Ilya. I manage to cover 100 meters in 7 seconds in this forest that's so easy to trip on. See, if we didn't have Kotomine here with us, I don't think this infiltration would have worked as well as it has so far. And also, the escape is very much dependent on Kotomine being here. My heart beats at a rapid cadence. Something's wrong. I'm running too fast. No human can run through a forest at nearly 50 kilometers per hour. My legs throb. My wrapped left arm feels odd, like it's swollen. This must be what Ilya was talking about. Archer's physical functions are taking over Shirou Emiya, not just his combat experience. It's a radically potent, muscle-enhancing drug. The poison is injected into my body, giving me powers beyond my own. That's good, even if it's like shaking a Geiger counter to try and make it not detect a radiation leak. Well, I appreciate it right now, but not Kotomine. He's not showing any signs of magical energy output or magecraft usage. It's hard to believe, but he's sprinting while carrying Ilya, without the aid of any magecraft at all.
おい、あんた、本当に人間か。
お前ほどではない。それより気がついたか。この速度を保てば逃げ切れるぞ。何しろあれは目が見えぬようだからな。
目が見えないって追っての？
そうとしか思えん。速度ではあちらの方が上だ。森の木々などバーサーカーには小石程度の足止めにしかならん。にもかかわらず追いつかれないのはあちらに何か欠陥があるのだろう。
Kotomine explains calmly. It bothers me that he can look so bored talking about something that should have us jumping for joy, but that means...
逃げ切れる。あとは俺たちの体力次第ってことか。
いや、逃げ足だけで勝ち抜けるほど。
His voice drips with hostility. Before I understand what he means, hello, oh,
アサシン。
I was gonna say hello, evil saber, or dark saber, or Norded saber, however you want to refer to her. My left arm twitches. But there's Assassin. I see a white skull. Like a rapid slideshow, Assassin flits in and out of the trees on a parallel path to ours, seemingly mocking our escape. By the time I notice it, it's too late. Assassin makes a subtle wave of his arm as he slips in and out of the trees at high speed, and... there's his dirks. Someone blocks the attack before it can skewer me between the eyes. I gasp. Only one person could have done that. Kotomine deflected a throw that I couldn't even see, all while carrying Ilya.
目障りなやつだ。手が空いている時は現れぬくせに、忙しい時は呼ばずともやってくる。
Kotomine slows his speed. The priest frowns with displeasure, watching the dark killer keeping pace with us.
コトミネ。
イリアは任せた。代わりにあれを任されよ
No, I don't like that idea.
う。なに。これでも神職だ。悪霊払いは慣れている。
Kotomine stops and lets Ilya down.
あんた本気か。
Ilya's bewildered. I take her hand and pull her close. At the same time, 3 daggers fly at us like bullets.
コトミネ。
God damn.
鋭いが実直すぎる。アサシンを名乗るにしては読みやすい太刀筋だ。
You know, I was reading, in the last episode when we got the black key, that these are very common weapons, sure, but also you can, hide away the actual blades, so I guess we shouldn't be surprised by this here. I'm having trouble believing it, to be honest. Assassin let 3 flying flashes of lightning, and the priest parried them all without breaking a sweat. Let fly, by the way. I don't know if I misread that. Berserker. Damn, that one was close. He'll definitely catch up if we get stalled here. I can't stop now. I need to take Ilya and get out of here.
いいんだな。行くぞ、コトミネ。
そう言っている。こちらの心配は無用だ。
Okay. I pick Ilya up. I can't go as fast as Kotomine, but this should be faster than holding her hand while running. I leave the priest behind. The dark roars are on the other side of the forest. It's wreaking destruction in a seemingly wild pattern to smoke us out, but closing in on us all the same. I don't have anything to say to Kotomine. The best answer I can give now is to turn my back on him and run with all my might. Or right before I leave.
エミヤ、助けた者が女ならば殺すな。目の前で死なれるのはなかなかに応えるぞ。
If you save a woman, don't kill her. The priest says something oddly self-deprecating and human.
余分な忠告だ。急げ。バーサーカーだけならば逃げ切れよ。後の戦いはお前次第だ。エミヤしろ。
I nod and start running. I'm sure that's not the end of, that won't be the last time we see Kotomine, honestly. He's bound to pop up again somewhere. Two shadows shrink in the distance. When I look back one last time, his back is so far away. I have an ominous feeling. I don't think we'll see each other alive ever again. Never say never with Kotomine. His death has been, like, falsified before, honestly. Alright, interlude time. What do we got here? As an aside, it is a misconception to say that a priest's duty is exorcism. Priests deliver the word of God, they do not drive out demons. Their God is one and absolute. He resides in all and is the greatest of all. He is the Holy Spirit who created a perfect world. He would never allow any evil to corrupt his children and dirty his creations. But some evils are tenacious in their corruption of man and tainting of the earth. There are things which should not exist, profaning this world. They reconciled this seeming contradiction thus, even the demons which threaten man are necessary pieces of the world the Lord created. They are creatures worthy of his love. According to this dogma, demons serve the will of heaven. If the divine cultivates man's goodness, then the demonic forges man's evil nature. They both serve heaven's will. A priest who preaches the Lord's word has no authority to destroy demons. And yet, to reiterate, some demons are particularly tenacious in their corruption of man and tainting of the earth. They wreak ghastly tragedies beyond human comprehension. In time, his children mistook heavenly designs for powerlessness. They sought miracles from the Lord to stop the evils they could not understand. Thus, exceptions were created. Human apostles who do not preach the Lord's word, but instead execute his will. Trials originally meant to be witnessed. Heresies originally meant to be denied. Those who received the 8th sacrament, which originally did not exist. The 120 cardinals ordered the creation of the executors, destroyers of evil. They drive out evil and eliminate that which does not exist in the Lord's gospel. Those who hunt the faithless are themselves unbound by faith. One could conclude that they are permitted to be immoral. They are charged to protect only one thing, the name of the Lord Almighty. For that cause, they will even destroy the evils he created. That is the only thing they have in common with exorcists.
大公社か。連中はこぞって鳩のごとき軽薄さ、蛇のごとき移り身を習わせるというが、なるほど。貴様もその例に漏れぬらしい。
The white mask sneers. Kirie Kotomine does not answer. He checks his weapons. He has 5 black keys of confession for each hand, and his left arm contains several unused command spells from the previous war. Of course it does. He is more than well armed against lesser spirits, but he lacks the firepower to fully defeat a servant, even if all of his blades were to strike true. Assassin is still a heroic spirit, albeit a nameless one. It would be impossible to defeat him without the scriptures carried by a select few executors.
どうした？見れば貴様のそれも投擲するもの。ここで私と一勝負興じてみるか。
Oh, I'm down. The priest doesn't move. He listens keenly to the sounds of the forest while watching the skull lurking between the trees. The rustling of leaves, the breathing beneath the mask, the rippling of flesh. and the fading footsteps of the maid warrior.
やはりあちらに行ったか。的尾さくらとはうまくいっていないようだな。マキリ造剣。
He makes an observation, his eyes fixed on the skull. What up, old man?
そうか。わしの気配に気づいておったが、綺麗よ。そこまで分かっていながら足を止めるとは何事じゃ。以前のお主ならば小僧を蒔絵にしても逃げ切ろう。だというのに自らおとりになるなどらしからぬ善行。よもや情にほだされたなどということはあるまいな。
His laughter echoes through the forest. The white skull sways slightly. The priest doesn't even twitch an eyebrow.
何？エミやシロを助けたつもりはない。単にこちらに用があっただけだ。
Kotomine speaks to the invisible mage without even showing his bloodlust.
わしに用があったと？
無論だ。どのみち、私もエミヤも森からは出られまい。じき殺されるのは分かっている。ならば、死ぬ前に斧が目的のために手を打つのは当然だろう。
ん？では、イリアスフィールがどうなろうと構わぬというのか。あれを救うために来たのであろうが。
構わんさ。ここでアサシンを倒し、エミやシロを助けに行ったところで間に合わん。エミやシロがあの娘を救おうと救うまいと。
I mean, at the end of the day, the Holy Grail is going to get created. He just doesn't want it to be in possession of Zoken, right? His left hand holds 3 black keys. The priest watches the skull in front of him, holding the swords in a fan shape.
では、わざわざこの場に残ったのは。
なあ、私のすべきことは、イリアスフィールをお前に渡さぬことか。
Bloodlust disappears. The white mask camouflages him among the trees and completely vanishes from sight.
ここで、お前を殺しておくことのどちらかだ。
Blades streak through the air. The priest's thrust clashes against Assassin's thrown dagger.
そうか、そのために死にに来たか。よかろう、綺麗、腐れ縁じゃ。教会の外れ者がどこまで戦うか見届けて死んでようぞ。
His cackling rings through the forest. Knowing that he can't win, the clergyman, who only drives out evil faces down the Malik al-Mat, whom the old mage controls. I didn't quite get that last part, but I tried. What can I say? Yeah, we might be a little fucked here, but we'll see what happens, right? I run through the forest carrying Ilya. I can't look back. The second I do, I'll be too conscious of the giant black wall and lose hope. I can't afford to do that. If my spirit dulls even a bit, it will catch up. It'll catch me and Ilya and kill us. Okay, but even if we get out of the forest, that doesn't mean we're safe. We have to keep running. There is no safety here. My legs feel like they're going to fall off. No matter how light Ilya is, you can't run while carrying someone without slowing down. To make things worse, the terrain is perilous, and I risk falling over with every step. Faster, 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 faster. I need to go faster than I am now, or it'll catch us. The presence behind me closes in with each passing second. I need to stop this lazy jog. I need to run faster. Fast like Kotomine. I need to take Ilya out of here. My heart is going to burst. It's tight. I can't breathe. My leg muscles tear and I cry out in pain as if my bones are going to burst out of my thighs. It's suffocating. How long have I been running? Having left Kotomine behind, I've been running like there's no tomorrow through the forest with Ilya in my arms. I've already run over 5 kilometers. Maybe double that. My oxygen-deprived brain isn't sure. I've just been running as fast as I can, never letting my pace drop. He's coming, but I can't get away. I've been running so hard that I feel like my heart muscles will cramp, but the presence behind me grows larger and larger. Heart muscles, huh? I mean, all of the heart is just supposedly one big muscle, no? Ilya is heavy. The oxygen is heavy. My legs are heavy. Death is heavy. I'll die if it catches up. The incomprehensible terror of getting instantly killed hounds me from behind. I kick my flagging mind into gear. Run. Don't think. Just run. So what if my legs fall off? There's no point worrying. I can think about it once it happens. I just need to head for the exit as fast as I can. Fuel up your chest with gasoline, turn the key to the engine, almost said ignition, and keep it from trying to stop, same idea. Stay in top gear, and throw the brakes out. Run, run, run. Run to stave off the anxiety closing in from behind. Run to ignore the terror on my heels. Run to wipe out all this pathetic whining. Shut up. Stop screaming in my ear. My own breathing is enough to rupture my eardrums, so I definitely don't have time to listen to your... Ilya shouts into my chest. Her full-throated scream makes my body react without a second thought. I stop. I dig my heels into the ground to halt my momentum and set Ilya down. I ready the Black Key sword I had on my waist and manifest my magic circuit at 200 miles per hour. I don't know why we're getting, like, what's in the parentheses there. I've never seen that before, or at least I don't think I have. Nothing comes to mind. Basic structure, analyze. Composition, analyze. Basic structure, alter. Composition, reinforce. Without even thinking about it, I complete a single count incantation in an instant. I use both hands and every ounce of strength to resist the attack. The whirlwind comes in from the side. Our pursuer charges in from our flank, scattering trees in his wake. My body is sent flying, pulverized by a single strike. The sword that I strengthen with all my might to be diamond hard is crushed like hot toffee. The shocking impact is transmitted from my arms to my whole body, rattling me from brain to toes. I'm flying. I put everything I had into that attack, and it got overwhelmed. I can't fight it. I can't fight it at all. Shirou Emiya can't slow down that monster. My body is floating in the air. No, it's soaring. Just like a thrown javelin, his attack bats me through the air, sending me dozens of meters away. It might even send me back to the castle. That's how hopeless the gap in our strength is, how bleak our chances of escape are. Time pauses. I keep sailing through the air. I'll probably die once I fall. Just when I'm about to accept this vast power difference as my inevitable fate. I see Ilya stunned and crying in front of the dark enemy. I reflexively reach out my hand. I manage to grab a tree trunk and put an end to my endless flight. The impact is like a hammer on my back. My nearly bursting heart swells and shrieks in agony. I can only take one breath. Even though I don't have enough oxygen, that single breath threatens to pop me like a balloon. But I can still move. If I have 1 minute to breathe, I can run. I muster all of my magic circuits to drive my body. Well, this is gonna be pretty sad. Ilya looks like she's been entranced by the dark foe. In her shock, she keeps whimpering in denial at the changed thing before her. Holy shit. She's fixated on the dark enemy's identity. Kotomine said that it can't see. He was right, but not right. The servant has no eyes, nose, or mouth anymore. Its gleaming red eye socket gives off only bloodlust. Its entire body is corroded by the black mud, and the wound that Saber inflicted is still there. It's something different now. Swallowed by the shadow, it's now a monster whose only purpose is destruction. It can't see what it's chasing. The Dark Berserker's eyeballs don't see Ilya, never mind me. It roars and raises its axe sword over the creature in front of it. Don't do it, Berserker. Another interlude? God damn, we're getting a lot of these. Okay, well, I guess this is a good stopping point. Well, actually, let's maybe go through the interlude, and then we'll maybe call it here. Let's see how this fight is going. The priest faces his final moments. Kirie Kotomine leans against a wall, staring at the blurry skull in front of him. His vestments are battered and torn. His breathing is labored, and he is down to his last 3 black keys.
これで爪かの。サーバントを向こうによく持ったと褒めるべきか。
The old man's chuckle echoes overhead. Assassin is silent, unlike his talkative master. To him, combat is work. The dirks he aims at his target's vitals are also meant to gauge his prey's strength. When the prey defends against the first dagger, that tells him its mobility. The second dagger reveals its mindset. He maintains a distance of 7 meters. The killer keeps his target at a distance where only thrown weapons are effective, in order to measure its abilities. If he can't slay it in one blow, then he chases it to a position where that is possible. He cripples its limbs, wears out its stamina, there we go, and drives it to the point of heart failure. To Assassin, his daggers are merely steps to ensure a certain death. He uses the daggers to measure his prey's strength, forces it into a prime opportunity for a kill, and then flashes it off with his devil's arm. It is his work, and a lifestyle that brings him no pleasure. While the work is dull, the priest proved to be an exceptional or unexpectedly intriguing mark. He has already used over 20 daggers. The daggers were thrown to gauge his opponent, but every strike was lethal. The priest broke out of the forest while fending off his attacks, arriving at these ruins. Assassin has dismissed him as a mere mortal, but the priest's skills are worthy of admiration. But this is the end. The priest has no more strength left to run. His back is to a wall, and all he can do is watch Assassin. He has 3 black keys still concealed. Assassin dodged all 7 of the black keys he threw like bullets, and the weapons vanished into the woods.
では幕じゃな。
Unless these black keys have like some other ability that's going to somehow entrap Assassin here, I think this actually is it for Kotomine. At least in this fight. The skull shakes. Assassin throws daggers without making any visible motions. He targets the forehead, pancreas, and diaphragm. Simultaneously, the priest defends against the unleashed lightning with the black keys in his hand. It is a foregone conclusion, a throwing technique which, once unleashed, is certain to spell victory. The 3 vital points attacks are a feint. Once Kirie Kotomine parried the daggers, his fate was sealed.
Shine.
A wing flutters open. Assassin's long cursed arm unfolds like a one-winged spear. It is an unavoidable attack. Assassin knows the priest's movements. He has a firm understanding of his tired, bloodied prey's abilities. Thus, it is inevitable. The prey may have avoided getting killed by the dirks, but his life ends there. Even if he had some strength in reserve, the priest's body cannot keep up with his thoughts. The 3 daggers he parried left him no choice but to jump to the side. He has no way to escape this arm from 4 meters away. The devil's arm extends. The priest shows no fear. He was prepared for this. He anticipated everything. The feint, the attack from the cursed arm as he defended himself, and the lack of any avenue of escape. Yes, this outcome was inevitable, no matter how much he struggled. That is why... Oh, he has something prepared for sure. His last resort is to sacrifice himself in a simultaneous strike. The skull chuckles. In reaching for the priest's heart, the devil's arm crosses. paths with the black keys. That is not a problem. Only Assassin's Arm took any damage. He learns that black keys can still strike him even at this range. But too bad for the priest. Even if they are imbued with magical effects, his black keys cannot defeat Assassin. The 3 thin swords will probably pierce Assassin and nail him to the tree behind him. But that's all. While the priest celebrates the fact that he finally wounded Assassin, he will die when Assassin crushes his heart. Assassin's Arm finishes its work first. His noble phantasm, Zamania, positively touched the priest's chest and created a false heart. But it doesn't feel like it worked. The man's heart is empty. It doesn't react. Suddenly, an explosive impact rattles him. The 3 black keys slam Assassin into a tree and nail his cloak to it. He's astonished for 2 reasons. First, the black keys have stopped him from moving. And second... That is a good question. The priest's coat flutters. He jumps. It's a comically high jump, like a human cannonball. He stored and stored his strength until he let it all out, performing a superhuman feat that instantly reduces 10 meters to 0. High above the lush trees, his hand closes around the head of Zokenmato, who had been enjoying the would-be execution. That much is obvious. His bodyguard has been pinned to a tree by 3 black keys. While they only inflicted flesh wounds on Assassin, the blessed stakes also make it impossible for him to rescue the old man. Sorry, I was getting some water. This shit's crazy. Why did he challenge an enemy he knows he can't beat? Was this always his objective from the beginning? The priest takes hold of the old man's head and slams it into the ground. Yeah, let's go. He is merciless. Kotomine slams the old mage's body into the ground, crushing his bones. Then he smashes his skull against a wall. Yeah, joke's on you and a lot of other people that think he has a wish here.
信頼には裏切りを、希望には絶望を、光ある者には闇を、生ある者には暗い死を。
He walks, marking the wall with a trail of the old man's blood.
なんと救いようのない男よ。未だ人並みの幸福とやらを求めているのか。
Kotomine grinds a mural of flesh and blood into the wall. All that is left of the old mage's body is the head. Bit by bit, it is filed away. Less than half of his head remains. As his brains are squished into paste, the old mage cackles one last time.
休息は私の手に。あなたの罪に油を注ぎ、因を記そう。永遠の命は死の中でこそ与えられる。許しはここに。受肉した私が誓う。
そう、お前には永遠にない。綺麗よ。主は生まれながらの欠陥者に過ぎん。この世の道理に溶け込めぬまま、生還者であり続けるがよい。
キリエ・エレイソン。
Lord have mercy on this soul. Let's go. The cackling fades. A weight and a shape imperceptible to the human eye fades into nothingness. Baptism rites. The church fixed its scriptures, the words of their God, into a system. Within that magecraft foundation, baptism rites are said to be the most powerful tool against spirits. When souls are cut off from their bodies, becoming lost and crazed, these keys of providence return them to the void. The 500-year-old mage's flawed convictions are sublimated in a final act of mercy. Okay, so I think it's too early to assume that Zoken has absolutely been, you know, eliminated from existence. It's really hard to tell with that guy. Okay, now we'll call it there. I think this is an okay place to save the game and wrap her up for this episode. But god dang, what an episode, guys. This is a good one. I'm telling you, I am like ready for our, I don't know if we're at the climax of this story yet, but the roller coaster up to it is at least fun. Thank you all for tuning in, guys. Hope you all enjoyed. If you did, be sure to leave a like, subscribe, all that fancy jazz, and I'll catch you guys in the next one. Take it easy.